Have you ever thought about the humble hard drive inside your computer? Well, what if I told you that that very piece of tech is completely, utterly sold out for the rest of the year? And we're only a few months in. Today, we're going to figure out why the simple hard drive has suddenly become one of the hottest and most unavailable gadgets on the entire planet.
Okay, so let's get right into it. This whole thing really kicked off with this bombshell of a statement from Irving Tan. He's the CEO of the storage giant Western Digital. And just a few weeks into 2024, he just casually drops this on an earnings call. I mean, can you even imagine that? A whole year's worth of product, just gone. So what in the world is driving this kind of demand?
All right, first up, let's really break down this big announcement and figure out what this news actually means for all of us in the tech world. The core fact here is just wild. We're barely into the year, and one of the biggest hard drive makers in the world confirms it. Every single drive they can possibly make in 2024 is already spoken for. It's all been pre-sold to just a handful of their biggest customers.
And get this shows that we're not just talking about some temporary bulk buys. Nope, we are talking about solid, firm purchase orders locked in with their top 7 clients. And it goes even deeper. They've secured these long-term deals that stretch all the way into 2025, and there's even one massive agreement that goes right through 2026. This isn't just a sale, it's a huge strategic shift in who gets first dibs on this critical tech.
So, of course, the big question is, why? I mean, what could possibly be driving this insane level of demand? Well, let's move on to section 2 and introduce the main character of this whole story, the AI data hunger. And there's our answer. It's all about AI. The absolute explosion in artificial intelligence has created this bottomless pit of a need for data storage. These complex models, they need just colossal amounts of information to learn and to operate. We're talking volumes of data that make traditional computing needs look tiny. Think about millions of hours of video or billions of images. All of that stuff has to be stored somewhere.
But you might be wondering why these specific drives, the classic spinning hard disk drives and not the super fast solid state drives. Well, for these gigantic AI data centers, it really just comes down to 2 things, capacity and cost. HDDs give you enormous amounts of space for a much lower price per terabyte. That makes them the perfect, most economical choice for storing petabytes of what's called unstructured data, all that raw information like videos, images, and audio that AI models just love to eat up.
And this chart, wow, it tells the whole story. Just look at this pivot. An absolutely staggering 89% of Western Digital's money is now coming from enterprise and cloud customers. And the consumer market, or you and I shop, that's shrunk down to just 5%. This isn't a trend, folks. It's a complete rewiring of their business, and it's all because of AI.
So here's the bottom line. While regular people might be facing shortages, this pivot to AI is a massive win for the company. Their stock price has skyrocketed over 63% just this year. You can see that Wall Street absolutely loves the security of these long-term contracts. It's paying off, big time.
And this isn't just one company's story. It's happening across the entire industry. So let's talk about this widening supply crunch. And that's the real kicker. Western Digital isn't some outlier here. Their biggest competitor, Seagate, is reporting pretty much the exact same problem. Their 2024 production is also almost completely sold out. This tells us we're looking at a huge, systemic shortage across the whole data storage industry.
And the squeeze doesn't even stop with hard drives. This AI boom is a very, very hungry beast, and it's gobbling up other critical parts too. We're seeing shortages and price hikes for computer memory, for the NAND flash chips that go into SSDs, and of course, for those powerhouse GPUs that are basically the brains of any AI operation. It's a massive ripple effect that's hitting the entire tech supply chain.
Okay, so all this sounds like big corporate news, right? But let's bring it back down to earth. What does this really mean for you, for me, for our tech projects? Let's cover that right now in section 4, the impact on you. This slide really lays it all out. It's like 2 different worlds are being created. On one side, you have the big enterprise clients. For them, everything's great. They've got a secure supply and locked-in prices. But for the rest of us, consumers and small businesses, it's a world of uncertainty. We're looking at major shortages, prices that are definitely going up, and back orders that could easily push deep into 2024 or even into 2025. So who's going to feel this pinch the most? Well, if you run a NAS system at home or you've got a personal media server packed with movies, you're on the front lines. Same goes for PC builders, gamers with huge game libraries, and really anyone who just needs a simple, reliable way to back up their computer. all of us are going to find it a lot harder and a lot more expensive to get the big storage we need.
Which, of course, leads to the most practical question of all. If the go-to solution for affordable, massive storage is suddenly off the table, what are you supposed to do?
Well, here's what the experts are suggesting. You've got a few moves. First, you could switch to smaller, faster, but definitely more expensive solid-state drives for your most critical stuff. Second, you could try a hybrid approach, using a small SSD to speed up a bigger, older hard drive. And third, there's always the cloud, but you'll have to really think about those monthly subscription costs.
So, is this just the new normal? Is this how it's going to be from now on? Let's take a look ahead in our final section. What happens next?
This timeline gives us a pretty good idea of what's coming. 2024 is going to be the year of consumer shortages. Then, through 2025 and into 2026, those big enterprise deals will keep the market locked down. And looking even further out, the industry's focus is shifting to next-gen tech, like HAMR, which is this really cool method that uses lasers to pack even more data onto a disk. But again, it's all designed for their biggest clients. So what's the most practical piece of advice I can give you right now? It's really simple. If you think you might need a new high-capacity hard drive anytime soon, you should probably buy it now. The inventory that's sitting on store shelves today is all that's going to be there for a very, very long time. And this whole situation kind of leaves us with a much bigger question to chew on. As AI's hunger for data just keeps growing and growing, we're seeing a world where a few giant tech companies can literally buy up an entire global supply chain. So how do we balance their incredible demands with the needs of small businesses, creators, and just everyday people? That's a huge question for the future of technology. For more details, you can visit our website, Fair Solution.